Hi everyone, in this video we're going to show you some basic formulas on Microsoft Excel. So let's say that we have our own camping gear company and we want to get the month total for these 4 months and the average total for January, February, March, and April. So we have right here our ID numbers. As you can see, those ID numbers are for each employee. So we're gonna go ahead and start getting the month total of January. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click the cell that we want to input all of the information to, where we're gonna start our formula. So we're gonna put the equal sign, and then we're gonna go into the C column and the first row, which is gonna be C7, and we're gonna put in a C so that the formula knows that we're looking for information on the column C. And now we typed in 7, so it's getting that first number, C7. And if we want to add an additional number, you just have to keep your finger pressed on the Shift key and type in the next number. So the next one, it's gonna be C8, I'm sorry. So we're gonna go and keep that finger on the Shift and we're gonna look for the plus sign. So once it's pressed, we're looking for C8, type in C and then 8. And as you can see, we have a different color highlighted on the number we're gathering information from. So this way you can see which number is which on the formula. So, okay, right now we purposely selected C10, so it's like we jumped a number. So what we can do, if we want to get the number before that, you can just click it and drag it, and it's going to change automatically to C9. But we're going to leave it on C10 and just hit enter. So once you hit enter, you're going to get the total of those 3 numbers that we added up. So right now, if we highlight all of the numbers in January, we see that we get an average, a count, and a sum. So the sum is the total of all the 4 numbers for that month. So right now, if we click on the month total of January, we see on our formula bar the cells that are used to add up the month total. So we see that we have C7, C8, and C10. So on the formula bar, we can use it to edit out the formula that we're using to sum all of these numbers. So if we want to include C9, we can just type that in the formula bar and see. Now we have the total of all 4 numbers on January. You can also double click it and you can edit the formula right there in the month total cell. Okay, so clicking it again, just so you know, it's double clicking and you can get the formula. You can enter it and you can X out of it, cancel. So if you don't want to work with the formula on the cell, you can use those options. Or if you start clicking anywhere else in the cell and you start getting like different information that you don't want on your formula, you can just X out of it and no harm, no foul. Nothing's gonna happen to your formula right there. So we just X'd out of it. So you can click the cell escape, or you can X out of it. So for this one, we already got all of the months total for February, March, and April. It would be the same process that we used in January. We just didn't want to bore you with it. So right now, we're just gonna get the month total for January. So we selected the cell that we want the information to be plugged into. So we're gonna just press the key for equal. We're gonna select C12, and then we're gonna divide it by 4. So right now we have the average month total for January. And if you want to double check it, you can always highlight the 4 numbers and check at the bottom of the screen to see if it's the correct number. So we have the average here. We can select or unselect it to show at the bottom of the screen. Just with a right click, you can change it. So right now for February, we're gonna do the same. Just hit the equal key, select the total, the whole numbers in February. You can do it one by one, or you can just select all of them, and then just keep that finger pressed on the shift button. You're gonna divide it by 4, and once you enter, you're gonna get the total average for that month. So it's gonna look a little something like this. So make sure that we have all the information. We're just double checking that we have all of the cells and the rows that we want for this average month total. And we can also do it like this if you want. It basically depends on the preference that you have when using Excel. So we're gonna start off by having a small data here, and we're gonna select the numbers that we want to edit, and we want to have a custom format too. So we're gonna select the numbers, we're gonna click on numbers, and then we're gonna click on custom. So we want to format these numbers specifically. So on type, we're gonna put an apostrophe, space, and dollars, which is the text that we want to include, and after that you have to put an apostrophe again at the end. So you're gonna see that once you click OK, it's gonna automatically add the word dollar into the numbers. So we're just gonna do another one so you can see how it automatically changes. So if we type here and we hit enter, you're gonna see that it automatically includes dollars. This is good when you're doing long tables and you want to make sure that all of the money is there, for example. So now we're just gonna remove the formatting. You can do it on numbers. So, okay, so first of all, we have on our sheet some information, and we just want to format it to look a little bit better and more professional. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the whole text that we want to format, and we actually need to add a formatting button on our document. So we're going to right click at the top, and we're going to customize our quick access toolbar. So we're going to click there, and we're gonna choose all commands from our quick access toolbar section, and we're gonna look for auto format. You click it and you add it to your right hand screen, and then you're gonna see that it's already inserted on our quick access toolbar. So if you click it, you can see that we have different formats that you can choose from. So we have some colored versions, some with different lines and formatting. So we can choose whichever one we want, and we can always customize it afterwards. So we can go in here, we're just gonna move that a little bit. So we can click on all the formats that we want to apply to our auto format. So if we uncheck the number or font or alignment, it's gonna make a big difference. So we uncheck number, and you can see that it removed the dollar sign over there. And we're gonna click it again so that you can see. So that's something that you can do. So just keep in mind the type of information that you want to have on your document and see which format fits the best. So we're gonna choose Classic 2, and as you can see, it's already formatted automatically on our spreadsheet. And if you guys want to make it a little bit more dazzling, for example, we can actually bold this one, bold the text, and you can see a little bit better. We can also change the background color. So we're just choosing a darker one. So first of all, we have some data on our Excel sheet, as you can see, and we're gonna be working on the total right here. So if you go ahead and select the total, you're gonna see that we have a little green square around the total. That means that the cell is selected. And what we want to do here is we're gonna drag the total across the sheet. So when you hover over, you're gonna see that, what is that? You're gonna see that we get a little cross, a white one, a black one, and a 4-directional one. So when you get this black cross, it means that you can drag across the sheet and it's gonna copy everything that's on the cell. So if we drag it, click it, and drag it over, it's gonna copy the same cell. So we got a total right there, so we deleted it. See how we have a white cross right now? So we're gonna go back to our total, we're gonna click it, and we're just gonna drag it to the other end. So it changed automatically all of the totals, which is great. This is a really good feature that Excel has to make everything go a little bit faster so you don't waste time when making reports. And we're just gonna drag it down. So see how everything in our document changed. So we're just gonna undo that. We just wanna go back to our previous document when we first started. Okay. So right now we have this formula over here in C12. So we're just gonna delete all of those, and we're gonna click on C12, and we're gonna look for the formula that we have here. So as you can see, we have a sum formula for all of those cells, and we're just gonna drag it across February, March, and April. So we're gonna wait for the black cross. Once we got it, you just drag to the right, and what it does is gonna grab the formula that it has on the C cell, and it's gonna implement it to column D, E, and F. So all of the totals that we see here are the ones for each month. If we actually double click on the cell on D12, you're gonna see on the status bar that we see D7 plus D8 plus D9 plus D10. So this is the formula that has been adjusted. If we click on E12, we're gonna see the formula right above, and the same for F12. You see the formula right above. So this is really great when making reports for clients and you just wanna save a little bit of time. So first of all, we have some data here. We have our cells Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. We have the commission percentages for each area of our company. So we have 12% for North, 15 for South, 10 for West, and 17 for West. 10 for East. So we want to see which commission is gonna take for Q1. So we're gonna take the 2,500,000 and we're gonna find out how many it got for the North area. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna type in equal, we're gonna select the 12% commission, which is gonna be on C9. We're gonna multiply it by D6, which is the sales amount we got for Q1. So now we got this number, and what we want to do is we want to get the same number for the rest of the area. So we're just gonna scroll it down, and as you can see, we got different values. So we got a 0, we got a value error, and then we got another number. If we click on the second value, we see that D7 is the one that's triggering instead of D6. So that's gonna be an issue. So we're just gonna go ahead and change that because we want the formula to pull from the cell's Q1 final number, not from an empty cell. So we're gonna have the same issue with the rest of them. And there's a very easy way to fix it. So for example, the value error, we see that it's pulling from a text, so we don't want that. So the first one, it's pulling correctly. It's D6 and C9, so that's perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a $sign, and that's gonna help us pull the number from the same cell. It's not gonna go over like it happened before. So once we make the change, we're just gonna click enter, and we're gonna see that nothing's gonna change on that number. It's gonna stay the same. But now when we pull it downwards, it automatically changes to the correct number. So now we got all of the numbers, and we want to move it over to the rest of the commissions for the rest of the quarters, and we see that we get a bunch of number symbols. So we're just looking at it, and it's not pulling the right way as it did on Q1. On Q1, it was pulling from the sales Q1 and then the commission percentage. On Q2, it was pulling from D9, which is the total for the commissions on Q1. So we don't want that. We just want to make the change. So we're gonna put, if you see on the formula bar, we added a currency symbol in front of it, the dollar symbol in front of C9, and that helps us get all of the same information across the board. If you like our video, please comment below and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.